Hello Taurus, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. You can see here, Taurus, that I started shuffling out the cards ahead of time for you. And so after I've shuffled out the cards and I took the time to kind of look at what you had here, I decided that I needed to pull out another card from a different deck for you. I haven't done this for anyone else, but it's a very specific need to do because of cards that you had that came out in your actual energy. So your energy that I'm seeing right now is the Forest with She Who Surprises. Now, I don't necessarily think that you're creating surprises in the Forest. Maybe you are. I feel like you're discovering and revealing things in this Forest. It's very interesting to me, this combination that you have, because the Forest talks about, you know, when we wander into an actual forest, like if you can imagine yourself wandering into the forest. And like these readings this week are very metaphorical based on the cards that I'm using and the questions that I'm asking. So, and in this case, that is a very powerful example of your energy. The metaphor of being in the forest. There's so many things to discover, but there's also, and these can be wonderful things that you can discover. You can discover a fresh new stream of water that you can actually drink from, or you can find a new tree that you haven't seen before, or see a bird that, like, you know, there's so many wonderful things that you can discover in the forest. But the forest is also a place where there can be problems and difficulties, you know, like you could be on a path, and it does talk about this in the book that you're on a path, but it's the path to nowhere. Because where there's no real destination most of the time in the forest, or living like a forest life. It is kind of wandering through this magical, mystical space where things can reveal themselves. Sometimes you can feel like, wow, this is amazing. This feels really beneficial to me, or I learned something today. Or this can be like, I don't know why this is happening this way. I don't know why this is going on. And, or, oh my gosh, almost like feeling like maybe you need to turn around, like, right, because it's the path that doesn't lead you anywhere. And so you're in the forest and you're finding surprises, you're discovering things are being revealed to you. You might, okay, I also feel like you're going through some sort of metamorphosis in this forest, like through discovering things outside of yourself. They're helping you to discover aspects of you that you didn't know were there. So an example of this is, let's say that you didn't really think that you were very good at climbing trees. Yeah, I can't climb a tree, but there's a black bear that you come across in the forest, and all of a sudden black bears can climb trees. That's a grizzly bear. You can climb up the tree. Well, look at that. I didn't think I had it in me, but you know, it's something that can be kind of, at the time, feels kind of scary and difficult, but then it shows you that you're actually able to do something you didn't know that you could do. So it's a really interesting energy. So having said that, I want to go into the fairy deck, Brian Froud's fairy deck for you, and I want to see what is kind of around you in the forest. If there's a particular energy that you're dealing with in the forest, because I do also associate fairies with the forest. And it's not to say, though, that I always am drawn to, I'm never really drawn to pick out Brian Froud's fairy deck when I've pulled out this card. But I do feel like that with you, very strongly with you. So before we get into that deck and I pull out another card for you, I'm going to show you the energy that benefits you, which is really fascinating because it's the Pilgrim. And what is the Pilgrim doing? If anything, I could see like a pilgrim could at some point find themselves in the forest because they're wandering beyond the mundane. They're looking for things in places that people don't normally go to look. They're perhaps even like, it's a wanderer soul, and people may not even be sure what you're up to, right? Like that's okay. So that is part of the good thing. That's part of what benefits you, is for your highest good. The Pilgrim energy is for your highest good in this reading. Like that's where this is falling in the part of the spread here. And you have She Who Instigates. This is leadership, provocation, and power. So it's really interesting how this plays against the energy that is not for your highest good, that doesn't benefit you. Because looking at this, it's almost like becoming the leader in this pilgrimage, becoming the pilgrimage leader. in the forest, which is also, I feel like, another reason I wanted to go to the Brian Froud fairy deck, because I feel like it's almost as if all of these magical, mystical things that are going on around you, it's almost as if the reading is asking you, or spirit is guiding you and saying, why don't you see how you can actually be a leader in some of this powerful energy that kind of is around you? And some of it may seem misplaced, some of it may not have a purpose, right? Is to find purpose in this, and is to be the leader in this pilgrimage. So also to be a leader is kind of like show others, like, don't be afraid here. Let's go down this path that is less traveled. It's be a leader in this. Let's go down a path that is less traveled. It is to, and I feel like it does feel like it's connected to this. You're in this darker, shadowy place. What do you do here? What can you discover? There's things that can be discovered, like, right, like we think about medicinal plants and medicines and things like that are all in the forest. Nature's there to give us all of these things, but nature will also try to protect that. And nature will try to protect that with maybe, there's a plant there that's all prickly. So at first glance, you think, oh gosh, that would hurt. I'm not going to go near that plant. But what you don't realize is what's inside that plant is going to heal all the ailments that are going on in the village, right? So it's kind of like, but the highest good for you is to be this leader in this unusual, I want to say it's this pilgrimage. It feels like something maybe is gone amok. And it might even be like, that's why I want to go into the fairy deck. Because it could be sort of like, I'm seeing like, oh, that gnome, or Glominous Gloom, Glominous Doom, or what is he called? He's anyways, we'll see what comes out. They're just sort of cards that when they come out, it kind of feels like this is not very supportive for me, like whatever could be happening. But there usually is something that leads to a benefit to you in some way. Okay, so, right, what benefits you is this leadership energy. This is so curious. There's a nuance to this because, be that too. What doesn't benefit you is becoming the king. She who becomes. You have she who becomes, so metamorphosis, transcending the king. It doesn't benefit you to be the king. Now, if there is, it doesn't benefit you to be the king, but it does benefit you to be a provocative leader. So I'm just sitting here quiet for a minute because there's a lot of different things that are kind of going through my head. And I'm trying to decide what I want to lean into here. But, okay, there's two things that I see here. So you could be in a situation where there's somebody who is actually literally the official leader. Now, this person could be absent, vacant, absent-minded. It could be whatever. It doesn't benefit you to be this... To transform into that leader. There's two ways I'm going to describe this, and this is one of them right now. It does not benefit you to become that official sort of leader. And maybe it's moving beyond. It could also be not be. So here's the other way. You can't change this person, whoever that is. You can't do that. You can't. If this person is sitting on their throne in some way, if someone is sitting on their throne in some way, which I don't feel like is you in this reading, I also don't mean that you don't have power, because you do have a lot of power in whatever this situation is, but you can't change this person's journey of king. But you can, I also want to say that the king is also very likely to go down the roads well-traveled. Right? The king is not on an adventure or taking risks, where there is a little bit of that energy here, right? Because it's like, well, you're not responsible for the kingdom, and the kingdom is its own thing, but you are, I want to say it's like thinking outside of the box, if anything here. It's thinking outside of the box. And it could be like, you could be in a situation even at work, and you might work for someone, and this person is the boss, is the manager, supervisor, whatever. And maybe you all are trying to come up with a new way to do something or pitch something to a client, right? And you're being guided here to be the provocative leader down an untraveled road where you can't expect the king to do that, right? Like that's how that's coming across. You can't expect, that's what you've got here. It's almost like taking this leadership role and maybe even taking people away, because to be a leader, you can be a leader in yourself as well, but instigate maybe of yourself, leading through example. So this could also be the difference too. I want to say like the King of Pentacles over here, or the King of Swords could be like this energy and transforming and changing it. You can't do that. It's not in your best interest to do that. But this to me speaks of kind of like maybe a King of Wands energy with this with this leadership, and it's very fiery sort of looking too. It's like, right, it's like I'm gonna do this my own way here, and I'm gonna go down this way, and if you want to come, that's great. But there's a sense of, yeah, like lead by example. Lead by example in that. Okay, so let's see. I want to see what fairy energy is around you in the forest. There's some surprises and revelations in there. What fairy energy is around you in the forest? Okay. That's not one that came to mind, but it is definitely the ones that I was a little bit worried about. Now, the Soul Shrinker does talk about like gossip, malicious gossip. What is going on in the forest? Huh. So that's what you're encountering. So surprising. Okay. Are you surprised by, because you have the surprise here, are you surprised that somebody is saying something? Is there some sort of gossip going on around you? Laom the Poet is at the bottom. Let me see. Where's the book? I hadn't planned on using Brian Froud this week, so okay, here's the book. Okay, number 55, the Soul Shrinker. Is this not a good energy? Cruelty, malice, gossip, curses, destruction, and blessing. Critical and malicious thoughts and words are having a detrimental effect on the situation and the people involved in it. Steps need to be taken to banish this curse energy through love and compassion, or at the very least through forgiveness and a refusal to accept the curse onto oneself. Understanding the implications of this and transforming the behavior and feelings involved is a major and often very difficult step in human spiritual development. So this is interesting, right? Don't turn into the king here. That's not your benefit to turn into the king, but it is a benefit to be the leader. Okay. One of the things usually involved here is taking responsibility for ourselves, okay, very King of Wands, and our feelings, rather than blaming others for the way we are. Another part of this process is to learn to be compassionate toward ourselves. If we can do that, it is much easier not to be horrible to and about others. This doesn't mean that we are supposed to be all sweetness and light all the time. Constructive criticism given compassionately is a part of being real. And reality is a good thing to be in touch with. So that's interesting, because there can be a lot of illusions and even illusions brought on by fears in the forest as well. So when this is reversed, and actually I think it was, when I looked at it initially, malice, vicious gossip, and cruelty are occurring somewhere in this situation, cursing the people involved. So I'm also wondering here if this is like taking others away. If this is like you setting an example here, the energy that benefits you is you being the one that takes steps here to change the situation. The best way to change this is to begin scattering blessings, thank yous, positive feedback, and kind words in all directions. It helps a lot if they are actually meant. So that's also very interesting. I wonder what the surprise, though. Is that it? I don't know. I feel like you've really piqued my curiosity in this reading. Okay, so I'm going to go into the tarot. So the king is also, okay, not obviously, not the queen. So the king is also a very active energy. Doesn't benefit you to transcend into more masculine energy here. All right, so I'm just taking note how, like, well, obviously it is a feminine depiction. It is the she who, the Alki deck. So, but I like to say they who. But in this case, I want to say, right, it benefits you not to pay attention to whatever this is. I don't know. What is this soul shrinker energy? Damn, it's the Ten of Wands and the Emperor. Well, that could be kind of like the king. It's somebody, okay, there's some sort of, you could be in a, I don't know, this could be work. It could be like some type of, there's a leader around you in some fashion here. Could be work. It could be in a community. It could be a group of people. I'm actually seeing like, I'm seeing like a gym. I have a leader like at a gym, but it could be in your family group. Something's going on here where I want to say somebody's not happy with the leadership. And it's in a place that's difficult. All right, there's all this like bramble and twigs and stuff too. Like that also feels like a situation you could come across in the forest. And it's surrounding the Emperor. It feels almost as if like there's something going on here where people are saying things to try to put obstacles in a leader's way. Or people are intentionally, like something, there is something going on here. In this darkness. Because it's not, it doesn't benefit you to try to change the king. Or to change into the king. So I'm feeling like whoever has this leadership in whatever this situation is, they are meant to have it. So, like, the soul shrinker, anybody participating in that energy is not in the right. It's malicious. Okay, also interesting because the king can be either benevolent or malevolent. We'll see how this continues to unfold here. Okay, what is the surprise? The Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the Two of, wow, Wands. Now, see? It almost feels like it has something to do with work. Now, is this, I don't know. It's almost like there's, like the boss. The boss has decided to do something. And everybody thinks, or some people think that the boss, and I don't know, maybe you're the boss in this situation. And it's almost like people have decided that they want to, they don't know, because the forest is a mysterious place. They don't know why the boss has decided to do whatever decided to do here. I feel like this was a very quick decision and unexpected. But it has to do with this leader's future. And you know, when people don't know the reasons for something, we all have a tendency to try to fill in those spaces so that we can understand the finished puzzle. So, okay, that's your energy right now. Maybe you're even like trying to figure this out. I mean, it could be, right? Like somebody could have done something around you and everybody's like, why did they do that? There's no logical reason that they could have done that, except if they're going to, maybe they're going to go work for this company, or, you know, like, I don't know. So that's what it looks like. Now, the energy that benefits you is the Pilgrim. is the Pilgrim. It is not the King. So that's also interesting. Because if I'm asking this and the answer is actually pointing to a person or an individual, it's kind of coming across then, right? Oh, sorry, I just saw Temperance. I didn't see what was behind it. It's the Empress and Temperance. So what benefits you is the powerful Pilgrim, right? It is the powerful Pilgrim. That threw me off because now we have the Emperor and the Empress here. So you have like really powerful counterpart energy. You're like, so are you, I'm wondering if you're part of this leader here. If you're this leader in some way. Again, there's a difference here between active and inactive energy or passive energy. The Pilgrim is strong feminine energy. Very strong passive and receptive energy, right? Even Temperance is kind of holding back. It's allowing things to cool down. It's taking a deep breath. I want to say the Pilgrim is taking a deep breath. And sometimes the most powerful thing to do is to do nothing. And that's really coming clear here with what benefits you with this Empress and Temperance. This is just like, know your power, know your worth, and don't even go there. Don't participate. Go your own way here. Do it your own way. The energy that does not benefit you is the King is becoming the King, or is transcending or metamorphosing the King. It is not. Oh my God, that's crazy. The Tower card came out, but in this deck, the Tower to me looks like the Emperor with a lightning strike on it. It's crazy. With the Seven of Wands. Don't take this down. I don't know what this is. It's not beneficial to take down this power. It's guarded. What is this? It's blocked. Why is it blocked? People are talking about this. Fuck. Such a curious reading. Who's the King in this situation? Who or what is the King? Who or what is the King? The Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Okay, I feel like whatever this King energy is, it's almost like they have a lot of resources and resources that can be shared, and a lot of desire to do that. A lot of power behind them to do that. I don't know how this. The King. Okay, it's almost like there's somebody here, or you're involved in. Hi, Larry. Keep moving. Let's not do what we did yesterday. Thank you, because I'm in my flow. Thank you. There's either. If you identify yourself as the King in this, you're supposed to hold that position. You're not meant to transform it, and it's not meant to be broken down here. No, Larry. If you are involved with trying to dismantle or break down some type of leadership around you, you really shouldn't. And it's almost like it degrades your own power to do that. The Ten of Pentacles, you can purr over there. I'm not going to do with you what happened yesterday. No. Look, Oh, come on. You can't look at me like that. He's so cute. Oh, okay, come here. Come here. And now he's like, no, I'm not going to move. Larry. Larry. Poor Larry. You want the whole table, I know, but I need the table. So, okay. I'm just like kind of recapping all of this. I do feel like too that there's missing pieces to a puzzle here in a situation that you're dealing with. And it's not in your best interest to try to block or prevent someone from, I don't know, I would almost say like making any sort of dramatic or drastic changes here. It might, so here's the other thing, with the Pilgrim energy being what benefits you, it might be better to move along than to try to stay somewhere and change it. Right? That's the other way that I see this. It's like it can't be changed and you shouldn't change it. But maybe it's in your best interest to pilgrim. To pilgrim? And be a leader in the pilgrimage. You know, like it could, like, let's say, I don't know, it's almost, I just want to say it's like you work somewhere. I can't think of, it could be a family situation or something. But it's like you work somewhere and either the leadership has taken a certain direction that doesn't feel favorable, or people don't like it, or they don't understand why this is going on. It's just not in your best interest to try to change this leadership or to try to change the leadership's mind. But it is in your best interest to perhaps consider moving in a different direction or going somewhere else. Or making your plans in a different way so that you're not involved. Right? I'm going to go do the extended Taurus. In the extended, I'm going to ask, what energy within you is depleted and how can you replenish this depleted energy? What is your greatest achievement yet to come? Thank you so much, bovine babies. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.